All right, since I wrote out a very long one, sorry, I'm going to be reading off my phone. Is this filming for Dolores?
Yeah, it's for Dolores.
Hi, everybody. This might be a little while. It's my stage time for the whole weekend, so sit back. Just making sure we got everyone important here. All right, cool. Yeah, so my real name's Chase, although Scott's renamed me Roach in the last 7 years. And Scott and I have been best friends since 4th grade. And although I knew I'd be giving this speech for the last 17 years or so, I waited until the flight over to write it, which is why I'm having to read it off my phone. But the best part about giving the speech is Katie told me that she was going to be holding the microphone cable throughout the entire thing, but joke's on her.
I know.
So I'll say whatever I want. But I even took an improv class a year ago in preparation for it, because I had planned that far ahead. And I was reminded in the improv class that to calm your nerves, to imagine the audience naked. So for the rest of this speech, I'm going to be facing the gyro side of the cruise, since I've already seen all of them naked.
There we go.
Thanks, Spanish Town. Throughout my and Scott's friendship, we've conquered all of our childhood dreams, performed in our first band, Half a Squirrel, met many celebrities, filmed 3 feature-length films, Owl's Nest coming soon to a theater near you.
Hopefully. Had
some very over-the-top release parties for those films, made it to the cover of a Lions Roar newspaper, recorded one of the most iconic Christmas albums of all time, that all of you have signed a copy of, I'm sure. Performed an Elvis tribute show and even made it onto CBS.
That's right.
Then this fall, we took the trip of all trips to the Kiss Cruise. We bumped elbows with the rock legends that we've admired since the days of us falling asleep watching VH1 Classic in the living room of the South Park View House. Our friendship has been full of inside jokes and intentionally acting out to make each other laugh. From 5th to 8th grade, Khaki used to sit me down at their kitchen table in the Parkview house with Scott in his room, and she'd say, "Tell me every bad thing Scott did at school." So unfortunately, I never had a filter and still don't now, and I would relay all of Scott's flip-ups and jokes from the whole last week to Khaki, who in between each sentence would say, "Scott Michael!" And he'd be in his bedroom, "No, Mom, I didn't do that." I wish I could say we don't find each other funny anymore, but even on the cruise, we managed to crack each other up.
Yes.
Between 2 of Gene Simmons' panels on the theater room of the boats, the security had to clear everyone out. So here comes our Goomba idea. To sit in the stalls of the theater bathroom, so that when they opened the doors to let in the next show, we would be first in line. Well, joke was on us as we both sat on the toilet, knees curled up to our chests so security couldn't see us, communicating via memes over AirDrop since we didn't have Wi-Fi and couldn't make noise, throwing toilet paper rolls over the stall. We've been sitting next to each other in bathroom stalls for a while, by the way. That's reoccurring. But if you are curious about how that move ended for us, the bathroom was soundproof, and we didn't know when they let people back in. We came back, and there was already about 100 people there. So on day 3 of the cruise, I felt so lazy that I said I was headed to the gym, and there it goes. Wait, hold on. Sorry, this sucks. All right. I said I was headed to the gym, and I needed 40 minutes. Scott comes in 25 minutes later, and he said, he asked if I was done yet. And I dropped the dumbbell to the floor and said I needed a few more minutes. He said, "Okay, I'm gonna go get me an ice cream." So he comes back with an ice cream cone and a frozen daiquiri, mind you, to the gym. And he said, "You ready to hit the steam room?" Ice cream in hand. And so we proceeded to challenge each other on who could last longer in the steam room before fainting. A challenge that, in our style, had a bet involving being forced to scream something embarrassing in public. Our friendship had a lot of those challenges and bets. And if you've ever had the pleasure of hearing me have to scream, "Babaluba, no Babadezu,"
Yes!
it stemmed from me betting a 5th grade Scott that he couldn't dive into the sewer in the park and wade through the water to look out the other side as I walked to the other block to see it. And if you've ever heard me loudly have to scream, "Diane Sawyer," that's from me betting a 7th grade. Diane Sawyer. From me betting a 7th grade, very unathletic, by the way, Scott, that he couldn't jump over the creek at the park while doing a Van Halen style toe touch.
Uh-huh.
He did, and So now for the rest of my life, when it gives me the cue,
Diane Sawyer.
I have to loudly shout the name of our favorite Dateline 60 Minutes host.
She's so good though.
Got that right. Never actually seen it on TV. Speaking of challenging each other, I've even managed to challenge Katie on a few occasions. And it's unfortunate for her that they're not as simple as just jumping across a creek. You know how she's in law school right now? You can thank me for that one.
100%.
I'm sure Jody and Danny are definitely thanking me for that one. At the cafeteria table at Southeastern, she told me, a business major, that she wanted to get her MBA. And of course I said, you don't have to drive for that. And to that, she flipped around her ponytail and she corrected me on this quote today. She said, "You baby back bitch, I could go to law school if I wanted." And here we go. And with that drive, she'll be exactly what Scott needs in life. Now back to Katie. So we both met Katie the same night at Southeastern. This is a different story than what y'all were told. We met her at the Cringe Bar, which is this
The Cringe Bar.
little counter next to the pool tables in the Southeastern Student Union, where the nerdiest of neckbeard, the people that make the celebration guys look normal, would conglomerate to play Dungeons and Dragons. Katie told us how she was an expert at judo and she could throw Scott across the room. And I'm pretty sure that's what they did on their first date. Throughout Southeastern, Katie and I used to butt heads, primarily for a love of the sport, Katie being a future attorney without knowing it, and my astrology sign saying I was born to be stubborn. But the main reason was we both just wanted Scott's attention constantly and had to fight to earn it. So tomorrow on the altar will be a day like no other. Katie and I staring each other down while Scott stands in the middle crying.
That's amazing.
It's been really fun watching them grow over the last couple years. My dad used to tell me that when choosing a life partner, you need to find the yin to your yang. And while Katie and Scott absolutely share similarities when it comes to thrift stores, specifically dirt cheap, Chinese food, musical talent, Katie has been and will continue to teach Scott about the finer things in life. That there's other places in the world to visit outside of Star Wars conferences and Gulf Shores. No offense to either of them. Never taking no for an answer, standing up for yourself, household domestication, and never forgetting to work hard. Katie has had about 10 jobs in the time I've known her. At least, maybe 20. But while Katie is the one that keeps them grounded, Scott's the one that'll continue embracing their not-so-serious, fun, creative side, ensuring they're laughing and moving through galaxies far, far away with a constant sense of positivity and joy. So to wrap it up with a toast, here's to a marriage full of listening to classic rock,
Yes.
traveling to Star Wars conferences, chowing down on crab legs and fried rice, long romantic walks through TJ Maxx, fully embracing the thrills of going all out for Spanish Town, and a life of happiness as they grow up together, proceed in their careers, and one day grow a family of their own.
Thanks.